So thank you for joining us. To everyone who's watching this, Victor is the repatriation specialist at MSH International. He has a lot of experience in this domain. He's one of our experts in this and has a very deep knowledge of the medical insurance industry and IPMI and repatriation. He's here today to discuss a little bit about this topic because it's something which a lot of people don't really know a lot about. So we thank you a lot, Victor, for doing this for us, and I'm sure the information you're going to be providing is going to be really useful for all of us. So thank you,
Thank you.
Victor.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you and to get the word out. The more people that know about what we do and how we do it, I think the better.
Thanks, Victor. So I think let's just start off with something very basic because it might seem basic, but it is something which people may not know about. Okay, what
Okay.
exactly does repatriation mean, and why is it important?
So repatriation means the technical definition or the little definition is bringing someone back home to get proper care. So that would be a medical repatriation. That's what it would entail. So
Cool. All right.
in a
Okay.
very sorry for the very short form, bringing back people home to get proper medical care. That is the easiest hyper simplified way to explain it.
Got it, Victor. And just the second part of the question then. So you've explained what repatriation is, the definition, but why is it really important?
Well, think about it this way. So, bringing people back home, home is where everybody wants to be when there's something wrong, right? So, imagine you are either a Canadian traveling abroad, or you are a someone visiting Canada from another country, right? Something goes bad, and you need to go back home. It is not as easy as just jumping on the plane. The same plane that brought you in can bring you back. You have to consider the medical situation. You have to consider what medical needs a person has to be able to travel safely, right? We have to get medical clearance from the treating doctor and from the doctor who will be receiving you back home. Okay, so this is. I mean, it doesn't really matter how many times you've flown. It doesn't even compare to the experience that you will have if you have to travel with a medical condition. And that's what is so important. Some people are lucky enough that never have to face this situation, but if it happens to you, we're there to help. It's a whole different game, and there's a whole different set of things that you have to go through in order to be able to travel safely and properly back home.
Thanks for bringing it to light, Victor, because I think it's something which not a lot of people are aware of, the fact that this is needed. And there's a lot of different elements to it as well. And hopefully no one would want to go through this ever. But hey, it's always important to be prepared, right? So, because, we're talking from a study in short perspective and we work with a lot of schools and everything, right? So, what role do schools really have to play for in the repatriation process when it comes to their students?
So when everything goes well, when there's no need for even medical care, the schools play a role of facilitator, right? Liaison between the student and us as as the insurance company. When things happen and we do need to get someone repatriated, the school would be initially and ideally the best point of contact to let us know that this is happening. Okay, that is in case this happened quickly and we never got a hold of the person while starting the medical emergency. Okay, so right off the bat, the school will be the person or the agent or the organization that starts everything provides us all the information that we need. And then we can get it directly from the source, whether it is the caretaker or the medical team that's taking care of the person. And we can coordinate everything. The school, it's kept in the loop, how much they want to be in the loop, so everybody's on the same page. But initially, the role that they need to play is putting us in contact with what's going on in case the patient or the student has not contacted us directly, and just be there to be able to coordinate. They know the full story. They know the situation or the living situation of the student in case it's an international student, or they have the contact information for everybody involved. So it is a great help when they are providing us information and helping us coordinate communications with all the stakeholders, not only the student. It could be the parents back home. It could be the medical doctor. Sorry, it could be the medical team back home. It could be the homestay parent here. So the school is usually the ones that are helping us with that.
So, Victor, I think you're saying they are more facilitators. They're
Facilitators is the best way to describe it. Yeah.
great, great. No, thanks for that, Victor. So, uh, if let's talk from the perspective of schools here, and if there are school admins watching this, they might want to know how can they or how can schools ensure that their students have, first of all, they have the requisite repatriation coverage and ensure it's sufficient. What are the things they should think of when they think of repatriation coverage for their students?
Okay, so that's a great question. Actually, the first thing they need to do is read the policy. Okay, all policies are different, and some policies don't even have a repatriation benefit, right? So they have to purchase it as a top up or from someone else. Okay, so the short answer for that: read the policy. If
Okay,
you cannot find the repatriation benefit for that, or if you find it but it's unclear, reach out to your admin to your insurance company. They should be able, either your account manager or anyone in assistance would be able to tell you what is exactly that this person is covered for in the event of the need of a medical repatriation.
got it, got it, got it. All right, and it's something which school administrators. What do you think, Victor? That it's something which school administrators should prioritize. Because sometimes you might have them saying, "Oh, we don't need this," but that's not correct, right? I mean, it's something which they should prioritize and a lot more.
Well, that's a very interesting angle to put it. Like saying that you don't need insurance, it's a big gamble, right?
Mm,
Hopefully you never need us. Hopefully I never get to speak to any school administrator to repatriate a student. But there's a saying that it's better to have it and not need it than to need
mm,
it and don't have it, right?
mm,
When we speak about repatriations, and hopefully after this conversation that changes a bit, we think about an air ambulance or something super complicated. But
mm.
repatriations can be for things as simple as, for example, a school trip. They're traveling, they go away, and they while they're away, one of them gets a ear infection, right?
Oh,
Something as
okay.
simple as that can leave you grounded. You cannot board a plane if you have an ear infection, right? So that would be something that we would be able to help with. And then that's uh, for the easy case, right? We have dealt with cases as complicated as um, transporting patients within chemotherapy cycles, right?
I
So
understand.
that would be something that is complex in terms of aligning the treating medical team, the family, the receiving doctor in another country, making sure that the patient is stable and is well to travel. Wait until the chemo cycles stop, wait until that person recovers, fly them out while they're feeling well and before the next chemo starts, and then can resume their treatment back home with a support system. So you need someone who knows how to do that, right? Hopefully you will never need it, but it's good to have it. And also, um, yeah, you were saying about um, not needing it. As I said, hopefully not, but when you need it's good, definitely good to have it.
No, I think that's the key takeaway, Victor, that it's better to have it and hope that you never need to use it, right? Rather than not have it and then be in a situation where you really need it. So I hope no one would have to go through that situation. But Victor, you are an expert in this and you've handled so many repatriation cases. What are some of the takeaways you've taken from this and something which you can share to us and as school administrators which we should keep in mind from your long experience of handling these repatriation cases?
So I think it all starts from setting expectations straight. Okay. One of the questions before, what is the role that school administrators play in this whole puzzle? Well, the first one is we have to make sure that we're like everybody's doing their best for the patient. Okay. And you can rest assured that our team is aligned with that principle. So we make sure that the treatment and the level of care that is being taken care of is right. We're making sure that whoever is going to receive them back home will have the same. Okay, and we're also wanting to make sure that everybody is on the same page in terms of what is needed and what is wanted, and in terms of the family, the doctor, the patient. Right. So to wrap it all up, I would say that school administrators, we fully understand that you're looking after your students, okay? And we're doing the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody at their own capacity, right? And so it's better to make sure that we keep the conversation open. I've had cases which are I recall fondly where school administrators and our team work together and get everything moved forward. And I have other cases, not as fondly memories, where the school administrators try to think like we're trying to get the student out and make it be someone else's problem. When in reality, we just go through our own medical team decision, the treating medical decision, and nothing beats being home when you're not feeling well, right? So from the support of the family, the support system being in a known place, that is always great. And sometimes it's the other way around. Sometimes wherever you're going to send the student is not as good, either because of medical care is not doesn't have a good level, or the family is not supportive. So we just keep them here. So it is all about being open and honest of what we want and what we need, and just doing everything that's best for the patient and, in this case, the student.
Thank you, Victor. I mean, that's a lot of great information because, I mean, we always go to the conclusion that home is the best place, but as you say, there may be situations, there may be times when it's not. So then you have to deal with it. So it's just changing situation. And I guess every repatriation case is different. It's not like there's one template you can follow for each, right? So, absolutely. I think my last question, Victor, again, is can you talk from a study insured perspective as what kind of repatriation coverage does Study Insured offer? What are some of the benefits, and why schools should consider Study Insured when they're thinking about repatriation coverage?
Okay. So before we get into the policy and what we do for coverage, let's talk about a bit of how the many forms that a repatriation can take. So a
Okay.
repatriation can be as simple as I need to go back home. I'm not feeling well, but I'm okay, and we could just get that plane ticket for you or the student or a companion to fly back home. All right.
Mm.
It could also be I'm not feeling well and I need a companion to be with me that is a nurse escort or a medical escort. We can do that for you as well. It goes all the way to the ultimate level of care, which is an air ambulance, which is literally a flying ambulance that would get you from the hospital bed into another country to another hospital bed, keeping you safe, keeping you well, and getting you better on the way, right? And then unfortunate situation where someone passes and they need to get the remains back home. That's another situation where hopefully nobody has to go through this, and most people are lucky enough they don't have to deal with it. But we also know how to do that, and we provide all the support that whether they want to do burial, cremation, or transferring the remains back home, we also do that. Okay, so it is important to say that because that's where having good policy comes into play, right? That is when having good benefits and good support from your assistance company and from your policy to be able to get you to do all those things, okay, without a limitation, so to say. I've dealt with policies that they cover everything that is emergent, everything that is, hospitalizations or clinic visits, but for repatriations, there's a very limited benefit. So if you want to do anything, you got to do it within that realm, or get into escalating issues, getting higher ups, getting the underwriters involved, and making sure, like making your decision making tied to someone else's green light versus the study insured policy. The limit that we have for the repatriation is all the limit that we have for the policy, right? So the repatriation limit is not bound to any caps, only the whole policy. So that allows us to make the best decision. Okay, so we don't let the financials get in the way of making the best decision for the patient. Okay, so hopefully that answered the question. For the study insured policy, I'm very happy to work with because I can focus on what's best and how can we get it done faster, better, and easier for everybody involved without thinking too much and how much we have to, play around with the financials.
Thank you, Victor. That's it's been great, and we are really lucky to have you. And I'm sure the schools are lucky to have you manage this complex thing for us. So thank you for giving us a little bit of insight into the world of repatriation and what it is you do. I'm sure what you've said has been really useful. Thank you so much for giving us this time, Victor.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me. And if there's any support that I can provide, you want to, get me to speak to anyone, I'm more than happy to do so. We do this literally every day. I am arranging two repatriations as we speak. So I'm always happy to help, always happy to be of service.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you very much, guys.